Welcome to the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast, episode 14.
Everyone wants happiness and success, and we know how to get you there. Come listen to the Leadership Society of Arizona as we teach a proven logic to help you simplify life, overcome challenges, and predict the future. You're listening to the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast. Welcome to the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast. My name is Chuck Solanas, and we are joined by Dr. Jacob Kashiwagi. Woo!
It's great to be here, Chuck.
Great. We're thrilled. All right, so today our question is going to be a tough one, so brace yourself. All right?
Yep.
The question is about marriage and children. And so marriage and children often bring more responsibility and change to a person's life. What are the best tips that the Leadership Society of Arizona recommends for a successful marriage and being a successful parent?
Wow, that's a very, very good question that we probably could have an entire series of podcasts on. But I'm trying to simplify this. So my answer is love. Just like the song from the Beatles, right? All you need is love. That's it. And the more love you have, the better marriage and family you're going to have. But you see, the key here is the answer is simple. But what is love? And how do you show love? To just simplify this, love, in my view, is simply the ability to understand and accept people for who they are. And a lot of people don't realize that this is a capability. This is not something that you just have. It's something that you have to develop. And so there are some people who are born with a talent for it, meaning their capability to be able to love, understand, accept people is greater from day one. But they still can develop it. Just like even if you're born to be like a sports star, because you have the height or you have the hand-eye coordination, it's in your genes, you still have to develop the talent. And this is the same thing with love, or the ability to have a good, loving relationship with a spouse and with children, is you have to develop it. It's something that if you start young and you start to try to understand and accept people as you get older and you want to have a significant other, you want to have a family, that you will probably have developed to a very high level, regardless of where you started out. And so that is one of my like big suggestions to anyone who wants to start a good family in the future, have kids, and make sure it's a great family. Start early.
With loving people.
With loving people,
Okay.
Which is
understanding and accepting others.
You got it.
Okay, and so if you were to say, this person understands and accepts others and this person doesn't. So two people in two scenarios. So if I'm a father and I'm in a scenario where, say for example, my wife buys $1,000 worth of groceries. So we're talking about Chuck in these two different situations. One is the one that loves and understands my wife. The other one who doesn't love, understand, and accept my wife. What does Chuck do in both of those scenarios? Okay.
One that understands there's no use in getting mad because it's already been done. And so the initial reaction of the Chuck that understands is one of understanding, I should have guessed that my wife would do this. In fact, maybe the understanding Chuck might have realized that in the first place and never would have let his wife go out shopping without him being there. Right?
Okay.
So it's kind of an unfair scenario because the understanding Chuck might not have even been in that case.
Got it.
But saying that he would realize that, hey, I should have known that about my wife. Next time, maybe I'll put some precautions in place so that it doesn't happen. The understanding Chuck would also know what or how much his wife can understand. So if he realizes, if I explain to my wife our financial condition, she won't do that again, he might do that. Or he might realize, hey, my wife will not understand how to balance the budget. So next time, maybe I should give her a certain amount of money to go out shopping with, or just go out shopping with her, right? Or do something that would be able to take into account her capability. Now, the non-understanding Chuck would get mad and freak out and worry that they won't have enough money to survive, and put all these things in place to try to control, try to tell his wife what to do, regardless of what she can understand and how she feels about things.
So what are examples of some of these controls?
Some of these controls might be, I'm going to cut up your credit cards, or you are no longer allowed to have any money and I'm going to take care of all the money. You have lost your privilege of buying anything. Or you no longer can even go grocery shopping. Or there could be a number of different things that
sounds like I'm grounding my wife.
Yeah, I actually have seen all of these solutions in the past. As I've talked with...
Not from me, but...
No, not, of course, because you're the understanding Chuck.
I'm the understanding Chuck.
Yeah, so I've seen all of these in the past.
And they're not effective.
They're effective in not spending money per se, but not necessarily the most effective in having a good, loving, enjoyable, happy relationship.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense. I totally agree.
Now here's the thing though. Maybe I simplified this too much, because there's actually two ways to ensure success. There's two things that you have to be able to do to have a good relationship. Okay? One is to develop your capability to love other people. Two is your ability to find someone who is just like you. Okay? So here, this is how this works. If you find someone on your level, right, that fits right with you, then that person, it doesn't take as much capability to love. So the closer of a match you find to who you are, you can have a really good relationship without a very high capability to love. Let me give you an example. For example, if you find someone just like you, they like to go hiking. You like to watch The Office, they like to watch The Office. You like to eat ice cream out of the container, they like to eat ice cream out of the container, right? When you find someone just like you that does everything you do and looks at things exactly the same way that you look at things, you don't have to have a very high capability to love to have a good relationship, because you'll naturally do things that you both get along with each other. But say you marry someone who's not on your level, who's like really different from you. Then it's going to take a very high capability to love in order to have a good relationship. Because when you want to go hiking, she wants to sit at home and just watch a chick flick. Just a movie. And then you have to have a very high capability to say, I understand that she's tired and that she needs some love and attention right now, so we're going to just sit at home and watch a chick flick even though I want to go hiking. See, it takes a lot of capability when you're very different. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I can imagine that would be difficult, because you would have different interests. You would want to do different things.
Yes. So if you can find someone on exactly like you are on the same wavelength, then you don't need as much of a capability to love. So the selection, identifying the right person is one thing. Two is developing your capability to love. If you have developed it to very high capability, it allows you to marry more people. It allows you to have a family with more people because you can actually have the capability to understand and love a lot of different people. If you marry someone just like you and not two people, but one person,
Okay.
just like you, and you have a high capability to love, then you are going to have a perfect relationship then. Because not only are you very accepting of everything and understanding, but you're also just like each other. And this is where you see those relationships where you don't argue, everything just works real smoothly.
Got it.
So this explains a lot of things. I know a lot of people might be wondering, well, what about like love at first sight? What about like, this love about, you just have such a connection with each other, a feel, all these different type of things. And some people might even say, and I had a feel with someone who's completely opposite of me. We just fell in love. But we're not really close together. We're really far apart. It could be that you have a very high capability to love. Because as you gain a higher capability to love, then your ability to just initially right off be able to love and accept and understand someone at first glance increases. And so do I believe in like love at first sight? Definitely. Definitely. I believe some people, they have this very strong capability of love. And some people, they find the right person who's exactly like them. And the closer the match, the more likely it's going to be love at first sight. The higher the capability of love, the more likely you can have a love at first sight. Does this make sense?
It does. I just want to throw in a curveball. So if you hate yourself, or if your partner or spouse hates themselves, does it still make sense to try and pair with someone that's like you?
Well, here's the thing. It's not about should you or should you not. It's about what happens. Right? And
Okay.
here's the thing is whoever that you go out and you end up finding that you want to be with, if you end up with them, you're supposed to be with them. And what I'm saying is if you have before then developed your capability to love, then your ability to love this person is going to be greater. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Now, if it's you that doesn't love yourself, then you haven't been developing the capability to love very well.
Okay.
So, that's why I'm saying prepare to love right now.
Got it.
Learn from from people around you in understanding and accepting them when you're young, and you won't be that way when you get older.
Right. And the cheat is to find someone that likes the exact same things that you do. That way you don't have to have a whole lot of capability anyways.
That is true. But here's the thing too is maybe you don't have a high capability to love, then you do need to find someone just like you. Because if you found anyone else, then when they want to go hiking and you want to like go and I don't know, watch the History Channel, then what's going to happen there? A lot of arguments. Not good. Okay, not good.
Got it.
Am
Okay.
I making sense here, Chuck?
It is. It does.
Okay. Now, I think everyone probably wants to know what are some things that they can do right now to develop their ability to love and their ability to pick the right person out. Okay. So I got some good ones here. Okay.
All right.
Here's Here's my things for you. First, practice with your family. Okay, a lot of younger people, they're like, yeah, I want to date, but my parents won't let me right now. Or I want to eventually find the love of my life and have like a movie or fairy tale romance. It's like, that's great. But they think, I can only do that when I get older. It's like, no, prepare now. Practice. You can even practice with your family. In fact, they're the best people to practice with. When I was growing up, I actually practiced this because I was like, I want a fairy tale romance. And so I practiced treating my sister, who is 2 years younger than me, like I would to, someone that I would be in a relationship with. So I try and buy her things. I try and figure out, right, what's the perfect gift that she'd want for her birthday, what I could do to make her life easier, different things like that. And it actually helped me to develop my ability to love because I was very deficient in it. So it kind of brought me up a little bit more.
Okay.
Right? It takes a lot more lessons to get me up to a standard level, but I started early. So even though I was really deficient, it raised.
Right, got it. And
Okay.
I know that my wife has a really good relationship with her younger brothers. She would do brother sister dates where they would go out and get ice cream or go out and they would just talk for like hours. And
Yeah.
they like have like a weekly Skype session. They just talk about all their things that are going on and they have a really good relationship. And I'm just so blown away because I can't compete. She's just got an incredible capability to love. So
That's outstanding. That's, the beginnings is have good relationships with your siblings. If you don't have siblings, then your parents, anyone who's around you. So that's the first. The second, practice with your friends. Treat your friends really nice. Learn to understand, accept them, service them, do things for them. And that will increase your ability to love. And also to know who you want to be with and who you don't want to be with. So it also
right.
increases your ability of finding that right match.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, you're not saying like um, with loving, it's we're using the definition understand and accept others, correct? We're not using anything other than understand and accept others
Yes,
for the
maybe I'll be
definition.
very clear on this. Yes, don't go out and have sexual relationships with a lot of people. I don't promote
That's
that.
not love. That's not love.
But now here, it's a good question because a lot of people are like, well, in your definition of love, where's the desire in that and all of the sexual things, is that part of love? And the thing about it is that is not what love is. But love, when you have it, that can stem from it, right? When you really understand someone and you appreciate them and whatnot, then you're giving a good environment for those feelings to start to emerge when the time is right.
Right.
And it will emerge it in a stable way, in a
Mhm.
way where it will be lasting, not, a lot of times where you see on movies and TV shows where it's like not a good relationship or not a good situation or someone's getting hurt or it doesn't last very long, right?
Yeah.
And so, and it's really funny because there's not a lot of good education on love these days. Everyone seems to get educated on TV now. And it seems that most of the TV shows I've seen, the relationships and things are very dysfunctional.
Yeah, like one night stands, like meeting in an environment where they don't share values and that sort of stuff.
Yes. So, but to have a good foundation of love, I mean, it's just about understanding and accepting. And if you have that, you have love. And things can come off of that at the right time. You know, holding hands, different ways of affection, all of that in the right time, in the right place, with the right person. right? Now, okay, so back to, we got sidetracked there, but back to my original, okay, first practice with your family, then practice with your friends.
In a non-sexual way. Just to be perfectly clear.
On understanding and accepting them. And then practice with strangers. Practice understanding and accepting. Okay. I got one more, so there's 4 of these. Okay, the 4th is get a mentor who can help you to learn, show a good example of this. Now, if you look at my advice, it's practice, 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 and get a mentor. And that is my advice for anyone who wants a very good relationship with a significant other, and also if they want to have kids as well.
Okay.
Is that pretty simple?
That's good advice. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Dr. Jacob. I think that's all we have for today. Thank you, listeners, for listening and viewers for watching. Have a good day. Thank you for listening to the Logic and Life Coaching Podcast. It would be great if you could take a moment to write us a review. For any questions, comments, or topics that you would like to have addressed on the show, email the team at leadaz.org. To learn more about the Leadership Society of Arizona, visit us at leadaz.org.